Ah, what a strange thing life is. And how I can indeed say that with the great philosopher of antiquity, that he who has money has troubles, and that no misfortune ever comes without another. I had only one wife who died.
And how many do you want to have?
She died, my friend. That loss is very painful to me, and I cannot think back on it without weeping. I wasn't very satisfied with the conduct, and we often quarrelled, but death puts all things to right. She's dead. I weep for her. If we were in life, we would be quarrelling, but of all the children heaven gave me, it left me only one daughter. And that daughter is all my trouble, for I see her in the most sombre melancholy, the most dreadful sadness in the world, and I have no way of extracting her from it. As for me, I'm losing my wits, and I have no idea what to do on this matter. You are my niece, and you, my neighbour, and you, my pals and my friends. I beg you to advise me on all I must do.
As for me, I hold that finery and fancy dress are the things which most please girls, and so, if I were like you, I would buy for her from today an ornament of diamonds, rubies, or emeralds.
And I, if I were in your place, I would purchase a beautiful hanging tapestry of forest scenery or characters that I would put in her room to rejuvenate her spirit and sight.
For myself, I wouldn't do it very much that way, no. I would marry her off very quickly, in the quickest way that you could, and for whoever the guy that you chose for her, they say ask, but only if there is time.
And as for me, I hold that your daughter is not at all fit for marriage. She has a very delicate complexion, and she's not very healthy. And it would be a determination to send her soon to the other world by exposing her, the way she is, to having children. The world is not at all her thing, and I advise you to put her in a convent. She will find better diversions that will fit her needs.
All this advice is assuredly admirable, but I hold it a little biased, and I find that you advise quite well for yourselves. You're in the business, Mr. Jossie, and your advice smells of a man who wants to rid himself of his stock and trade. You sell tapestries, Mr. Guillaume, and you have the look of some hanging that inconveniences you. The one you love, dear cousin, is rumoured to have some inclination to my daughter, and you wouldn't be annoyed to see her married to someone else. And as for you, my dear niece, it's not my plan to marry my daughter to just anybody, and I have my reasons for that. But the advice you give me to make her a nun comes from a woman who might as well be my charitable heir. So, gentlemen and ladies, although your advice may be the best in the world, you'll understand, if you please, why I am not following it. Out! Go on! So there go my fashionable advice givers. Ah, here goes my daughter, taking the air. She doesn't see me. She's sighing. She's looking up to the heavens. May God protect you! Hi there. Hello, darling. How are you doing? Alas, always sad and melancholy like this. Would you tell Papa what's wrong? Oh, come on, just open your little heart to me, you little Papa. Come on, sweetheart. Furious to see her in this mood. But talk to me. And there is nothing I will not do to satisfy you, might as well just say. Do you want some new material that your friends don't have? A closet from the fair Saint Laurent? Do you want harpsichord lessons? I can get you a teacher. No? Are you in love and want to get married?
Oh, Martha! You've just had a conversation with your daughter. Have you discovered cause of this melancholy?
No. She's a slut who infuriates me.
Oh, sir, let me do it. I'll go sound her out a little.
It's not necessary. And since she wants to be in that mood, I'm of the opinion to leave her there.
Oh, let me do it, I tell you. Perhaps she'll disclose herself more freely to me than to you. What? Madam? You don't want to tell us what's wrong with you? And you want to afflict everyone this way? It seems to me that one doesn't act the way you were doing. And that, if you have some reluctance in expressing your feelings to your father, you ought not to have any to disclosing your feelings to me. Tell me, do you want something from him? He's told us many times that he would spare nothing to satisfy you. Well, aren't you given all the freedom you want, and the gifts, and the walls? Oh, don't they engage your soul's attention? What? Well, have you received some insult from someone? When? Do you have some secret inclination that you want your father to marry you to?
And I leave you in your obstinacy.
Father, since you really want me to tell you this thing...
Yes, I'm losing the friendship I once had for you.
Oh, but sir, how sadly.
She's a slut who makes me want to die.
Father, I really want to...
This is the reward I get for raising you the way I have.
But sir...
No, I'm against her in a terrible rage.
But father!
I no longer have any tenderness for you.
What?
She's a bitch. An ingrate. A slut who won't tell me what's the matter with her.
It's a husband she wants.
I reject her as my daughter.
A husband.
I renounce her.
A husband.
I don't want to speak to her about it
A
anymore.
husband.
I don't want to speak to her about it anymore.
A husband.
I do not want to speak to her about it
A
anymore.
husband, a husband, a husband! They say truly there is no one more deaf than those who don't want to hear.
Alas, Lizette, I was wrong to hide my unhappiness. I'd only to speak to get whatever I wanted from my father. You see him?
On my oath, he's a villainous man. And I do not deny you, it would give me extreme pleasure to play him some trick. Oh, but why till now, madam, have you hidden your illness from me?
Oh, Lizette. What would have been the use in discovering it too sooner? I wouldn't have been better off hiding it all my life. Do you think that I haven't foreseen all that you see now, that I didn't probe to the depths all my father's feelings, and that the refusal that he made to the one who asked for me for a friend didn't choke every sort of hope in my heart?
What? It's this stranger who asked for you.
Perhaps it's not right for a girl to express herself so freely. But still, I confess that if I were permitted to desire something, this would be what I want. We've had no conversation together, and his mouth has not yet declared the passion that he has for me. But in every place where he was able to see me, his looks and his actions, they spoke so tenderly. And was that of such an honest man that I couldn't prevent my heart from being sensible of his ardour. Oh, and how the hardness of my father has reduced all of that tenderness.
Go. Let me do it. Whatever complaints I may have about your secrecy from me, I don't want to forgo assisting you in your love affair. And since you have enough courage...
But what do you expect me to do against a father's authority? And if he's inexorable to my
Oh,
prayers?
go. It's not necessary to let oneself be led like a ninny so long as one's honour isn't offended. Well, one can free oneself a little from the tyranny of a father. Well, what does he pretend you are doing? Aren't you of an age to be married, and does he think you're made of marble? Oh, go. Oh, I will. One more thing. I want to serve your passion. So, from now on, I will take on care of his interests. and you'll see I know some tricks. Oh, but I see your father coming. Let's go back in and allow me to act.
Sometimes it's good not to seem to hear things one only hears too well. And I've wisely been spared the declaration of a desire I am not resolved to satisfy. Has there ever been such a greater tyranny than this custom that has been imposed on fathers? I wish to keep the wealth for my daughter and myself, and not to pay it off to some man who no longer wishes to pay me back. Yes, my wealth for my daughter and for myself.
Wow, misfortune! Oh, disgrace! Oh, poor Mrs. Gadael, where shall I find you?
What's she saying?
Oh, wretched father, what will you do when you hear the news?
What can it be?
Oh, what misfortune, my poor mistress!
I am ruined.
Oh, what an accident!
Lisette!
What misfortune!
Lisette!
Oh, what fatality!
Lisette!
Oh, sir!
What is it?
Sir!
What?
Your daughter!
Ah! No!
Oh, sir, don't cry like that, for you'll make me laugh.
Then speak quickly.
Your daughter, completely taken by the words you said against her, and by the rage she saw you in, and full of despair, opened the window which looks onto the river.
So?
Then raising her eyes to the heavens, "No," she said, "I cannot live with the wrath of my father, and since he renounces me as his daughter, I intend to die."
And she threw herself in.
Oh, no, sir. She shut the window quietly and went to put herself on her bed. There she took to crying bitterly. Her face went pale, her eyes turned, her heart failed her, and she remained like that in my arms.
Oh, my daughter.
Oh, by means of torturing her, I made her come to herself. But this thing, it takes her back moment by moment, and I fear she will not last the day.
Champagne! 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 Quickly! Fetch me some doctors, and in quantity. We can't have too many in situations such as these. Oh, my daughter, my first daughter.
with 4 doctors. Isn't one enough to kill a person?
Be quiet. 4 opinions are better than 1.
Won't your daughter die without the help of these gentlemen here?
Do doctors cause death?
Oh, doubtless. And I knew a man who could prove as such. So that you never had to say, such and such a person died of a fever or a flux in the breast, but she died of 4 doctors and 2 pharmacists.
Hush! Don't offend these gentlemen.
Oh, my word, sir. Our cat survived the jump from the roof of a house to the street, and it went 3 days without eating. It could not move, foot or paw. We were lucky there were no cat doctors about, for our affair would have been done. And they wouldn't have failed to purge and bleed her.
Will you shut up, I tell you? Such impudence. Ah, here they are, here they are.
Take care. You're really going to be edified. They're going to tell you in Latin that your daughter is sick.
Well, gentlemen, we've seen the patient. She's full of impurity. I mean that there's much impurity in her body. A large number of corrupted humours.
I understand you.
But we are going to consult together.
Come, get them chairs.
Ah, sir, you are involved.
Do you know this gentleman?
Oh, from having seen him the other day at the home of a good friend of your niece's.
How's her coachman doing?
Oh, fine, he's dead.
Dead?
Yes.
Oh, well, that cannot be.
I don't know very well if it can be, but I know he's dead.
No, that cannot be. I tell you.
And as for me, I tell you he's dead and buried.
Well, you are mistaken.
Oh, I saw the funeral.
That is impossible. Hippocrates says that this sort of illness does not terminate in less than 14 or more than 21 days, and he fell ill less than 6 days ago.
Hippocrates can say what he pleases, but her coachman is dead.
Peace. Argumentation. Come, let's go. Doctors, I advise you to consult as best as you can. And although it is not custom to pay in advance, for fear of forgetting, I will pay you here.
Necessary to make long treks when business requires.
Oh, I have to confess, I have an admirable mule for that. And you'd hardly believe the amount of work I get out of him every day.
Well, I have a marvellous horse, and he's a tireless animal.
Do you know the road my mule took today? First, we went by the Arsenal. From the Arsenal to the Faubourg Saint-Germain, from the Faubourg Saint-Germain to the Marais, from the Marais to the Porte Saint-Honor, from the Porte Saint-Honor to the Porte Saint-Jacques, from the Porte Saint-Jacques to the Porte de Richelieu, and from the Porte de Richelieu to here. And from here. From here. Oh, from here. I have to go again to the Place Royale.
My horse has done all that today, and moreover, I've been to Rouen to see a patient.
But, what side are you taking in the quarrel between the 2 doctors, Theophrastus and Artemius? For it's an affair dividing our whole association.
As for me, I am for Artemius.
Yes, and me. It's not that his opinion, as has been seen, didn't kill the patient, and that of Theophrastus was not much better, assuredly. But still, He was wrong in the circumstances, as he shouldn't have been of an opinion different to that of his elder. What do you say?
Doubtless, one must always preserve formalities, whatever may happen.
As for me, I am devilishly strict, at least. This is between friends. They brought us together one day, 3 of us, with a doctor from elsewhere, for one of these consultations. But I stopped the whole business, as I couldn't countenance anyone giving an opinion if it wasn't going to be in order. The people of the house did what they could, and the illness pressed on, of course. But I wasn't going to give up, and the patient died bravely during this argument.
It's just as well to teach people how to live and show them how dumb they are.
A man dead is only a dead man, and there are no consequences. But a formality neglected brings a notable prejudice to medicine itself.
Gentlemen, my daughter's suffering is getting worse. I beg you to tell me what you have decided amongst yourselves.
Well,
Go ahead.
it's my opinion. Well, you speak first, please.
You are mocking.
I shall not speak first.
Sir!
Oh, sir!
Hey, merry gentlemen, leave all these ceremonies and think that things are pressing.
Teresa.
The illness of your
It isn't really in my interest.
Hey, merry gentlemen, would you all mind speaking at once, Mercy?
Sir, we have considered your daughter's illness, and my opinion is that it stems from a great heat in the blood. Thus, I conclude we should bleed her as soon as we can.
As for me, I say her illness is a mixture of humours caused by too much eating. Too much eating. So I conclude to give her an emetic.
I contend that an emetic will kill her.
And I say that bleeding will kill her.
Really? Just to make yourself look clever?
Yes, that is my opinion, and I will give you the crown in all types of erudition.
Do you recall the man you caused to croak a few days ago?
Do you remember the lady you sent to the next world 3 days ago?
Sir, I have given you my opinion.
And I've given you my ideas.
If you don't bleed your daughter imminently, she's dead.
And if you do bleed her, she won't live more than a quarter of an hour.
Which of the two to believe? And what a decision to make on such opposed opinions. Gentlemen, I conjure you to tell me without passion what you think is the best decision to make for my daughter.
So, in these matters, one must proceed, and with circumspection, and do nothing, as they say, on the fly. The worst thing one can do is cause dangerous consequences, according to our master, Hippocrates.
It's true, one must be careful what one does, for this is not child's play here, and when one fails, it's not easy to repair the fault and to re-establish what one has already lost. Experiment cautiously, that's what. It's a case of reasoning above all, of weighing things carefully, of considering the temperament of people, of examining the causes of the ills and see what remedies one can bring to it.
So, sir, to come to the point, I find that your daughter has an extremely dangerous chronic illness. Now, this illness is caused by corrosive and sooty vapours which dot the membranes of the brain, yes. Now, indeed, in this vapour, in which we in Greek call atmos, this vapour exists, it's tenacious, it's convulsionous, it exists in the lower bowels,
And as these humours have been engendered over a long period of time, they reheated themselves and required this malignity which steamed towards the region of the brain.
Indeed. So, then, detach, to deter, to expel, remove, exterminate these conglobulous tumours. We must first have a vigorous purgation. But before going any further, I find it relevant, and it wouldn't be inconvenient, to use some small palatine remedies, little soft enemas, and cleansing juleps and syrups to mix in her tea.
Then will come to the bleeding and the purging, which will repeat if need be.
Yes, sir, no. It's not that after all of this your daughter may not die. But you will have done something, and you'll have the consolation of knowing that she died properly.
It's better to die by the rules than to escape despite the rules.
We have told you our thoughts sincerely.
And we've spoken to you as if we speak to our own brother.
I render you very humble. Thanks. And you are infinitely obliged by the trouble you have taken. Here I am, now, a little more uncertain than I was before. What the devil? A fantasy has come to me. I must go out soon and buy some snake oil. Yes! Snake oil is a remedy which many people are fond of. Yes, sir. I believe that all the gold in the world is not capable of paying for your remedy. But still, here's 30 sous for you to take in its place.
by revealing through our arguments and quarrels the bravado of our art. If we are not careful, we will ruin ourselves. Since heaven has graced us for so many centuries, people remain infatuated with us. Let's not disabuse them with our extravagant cliques, and let's profit by their stupidity as softly as we can. We are not the only ones, you know, who try and prevail on human weakness. Most of the world studies this, and each of us is required to take men on their weakness in order to extract some profit. The flatterers, for example, seek to profit on the love men have to be praised by offering all of the vain flattering that they desire. The alchemists try and profit on a passion for riches by offering mountains of gold to those who would listen to them. The tellers of horoscopes, with their deceitful predictions, seek to profit on the vanity and ambitions of credulous spirits. But the greatest weakness men have is the love they have for living. And we profit on it with our pompous bombast, and we know how to use to our advantage this veneration that the fear of death gives to our profession. Let us not, I say to you, stupidly destroy this fortunate bias which by some error gives bread to so many people.
You are correct in all that you say. But there are heats of blood, of which one is not the master.
Come then, gentlemen. Let us put aside our rancour and reach your settlement here.
I agree. Just let me give my emetic to the patient that needs it, and I will let him do whatever he wants to the first patient he's involved with.
One couldn't speak more fairly. And that's how to settle things.
That's done.
Good. Goodbye. Next time, have more prudence.
You aren't thinking of repairing the wrong done to medicine.
What do you mean? What is it?
Oh, an insolent who has the effrontery to encroach on your profession, who, without your orders, has just killed a man while running him through with a sword.
You may play the mocker, but you'll fall into our hands one day.
Oh, well, I'll let you kill me if ever I have recourse to you.
Well, Lizette, do you like me like this?
Oh, the best in the world. And I've been waiting for you impatiently. Well, anyway, nature made me the most humane person in the world. I cannot see two lovers sigh for each other without falling into an intolerable charity to assuage the pain they suffer. I intend, at any price, to free Lucinda from the tyranny that she is under, and to place her in your power. You pleased me from the first, and I know people. She cannot have made a better choice. Love risks extraordinary things. We have put together a stratagem which perhaps will succeed for us. All our measures have been taken already, and the man we're dealing with is not the cleverest fellow in the world. So, if our adventure fails us, we'll find 1,000 other ways to arrive at our end. Oh, go. Wait for me over there, and then I'll return to fetch you. Sir! Hallelujah, hallelujah!
What is it?
Oh, rejoice!
About what?
Oh, rejoice, I tell
Well,
you!
perhaps you tell me what it is and then I can rejoice.
No. I want you to rejoice beforehand, so you'll sing and dance.
Over what?
On my words.
Well. La 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 la. What is it? What is it?
Sir, your daughter is cured.
My daughter is cured.
Yes, I am bringing you a doctor, but a doctor of importance who has marvellous cures and who mocks all other doctors.
Where is he?
Oh, I'm going to bring him in.
Let's hope he's better than the other doctors.
Here he is.
He's a doctor with a really fresh beard.
Oh, well, science doesn't measure itself by the beard, and it's not by the chin that he is skillful.
Sir, they tell me you have admirable remedies that empty out the bowels.
Sir, my remedies are different to those of others. They have emetics, bleedings, pills, enemas. But me, I cure with words, with sounds, with letters, with talismans, and with rings made under the influence of constellations.
Oh, what did I tell you?
He is a great man.
Oh, sir, seeing as your daughter is all dressed in her chair, I'm going to make her come here.
Yes, do that.
Sir, your daughter is really sick.
You know that too?
Yes, from the sympathy there is between father and daughter.
Here, sir. Oh, there's a chair beside her. Come, let's leave it.
Oh, I want to remain here.
You're looking. We have to separate. A doctor has 1,000 things to ask which it isn't right for a man to hear.
Oh, madame, how great is the rapture in which I find myself. And how little I know how to begin speaking to you. Up until now, I've spoken to you only with my eyes. It had, so it seemed to me, 100 things to say. And now that I have the liberty of speaking to you in the manner I wish, I remain dumbfounded. In this great joy, I'm in chokes off my words.
I can tell you the same thing, and I feel, like you, emotions of joy which prevent me from being able to speak.
Madame, it would be happy for me if it were true that you feel all that I feel, and for me to judge your soul by mine. But, Madame, may I at least believe that it is you that I owe this thought of happy stratagem, which gives me joy in your presence?
Well, if you don't owe me the idea, then you are at least indebted to me for having approved the proposition with great joy.
He seems to be talking, standing awfully close to her.
That's so we can observe her physiognomy and all the features of her face.
Will you be constant, madame, in all these kindnesses that you are showing me?
But will you be firm in the decisions that you've taken?
Madame, until death, I want nothing more than to be with you, and I'm going to make it appear all that you're going to see me do.
Well, our patient. She seems to be looking a little brighter.
It's that I've already employed on her one of these remedies that my art shows me. As the mind has a great empire over the body, so often illness proceeds from it. My habit is to run cure the mind before coming into the body. I've observed her looks, the features of her face, the lines on both her hands, and through the science that heaven has given to me, I've recognised that it was the mind which made her ill. This illness comes only from a distorted imagination, from a depraved desire of wanting to be married. As for me, I see nothing more extravagant or more ridiculous than for this wish to be married.
He is a clever man.
I have had, and will have it for my eternal life, a terrible aversion to it.
He is a great man.
But one must flatter the imagination of patience, and what I've seen in her of alienation of the mind. I've taken her through her weaknesses, and have asked her for her hand in marriage. Suddenly her face changed, her complexion lit up, her eyes became animated, and if you like, for several days to confirm her in this error, you will see it will extract her from where she is.
I really want that.
Later, we will use other remedies to cure her entirely of this fantasy.
Oh yes, that's the best thing in the world. Well, my daughter. He is a gentleman as to you.
I said that he could.
What, is it possible?
Yes.
In good faith?
Oh, yes.
What, and you feel like being my husband?
Yes, madame.
What, and my father consents to it?
Yes, my daughter.
Well, how happy I would be if that were true.
not from today that I love you, and I'm burning to see myself your husband. I came here only for that. And if you want me to tell you exactly how things stand, this outfit is an inverted pretext. I've only played doctor as to obtain what I wish.
Well, let's sign the contract now so nothing's lacking.
Crazy woman, crazy woman, crazy woman.
Father, do you really intend to give me this gentleman as a spouse?
Yes. Here, give me your hand. Oh, give me yours a little. Oh, but sorry. No. It's okay. It's to satisfy her mind. Shake. Oh, there, that's done.
Accept my faith, this ring that I'm offering you. It's a special ring which cures wandering minds. Right.
Oh, please, let's sign the contract now!
Indeed, I wish it so, madame. I'm going to bring in the man that writes my prescriptions and make her think it's a notary.
Very fine.
Bring the notary I brought with me!
What? You brought a notary?
Yes, madame.
I am rubbish!
Bad woman. Yes, sir, yes. It's necessary to draw up a contract for these two here. Right. And here, let the contract be done. I give her 20,000 shillings in marriage right.
Oh, I'm much obliged to you, Father.
There. It's done. You have only to sign.
Here's the contract soon constructed.
At least.
Hey, no, I tell you, give me the pen to sign. Come on, sign. Go. I will sign soon enough myself.
No. I want to see the contract in my hands.
Oh, well, here. Are you satisfied?
More than you can imagine.
All the same, I not only took the precaution of bringing a notary, I even brought singers and instrumentalists to celebrate and rejoice us. Have them come. These are the people I bring with me to cure wandering minds with their harmonising.
Without us all men would be unhealthy. Without us all men would be unhealthy. For we are the best doctors. For we are the best doctors. Without us all men would be unhealthy. La 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 la.
Here's a family of curing. Oh, where are the doctor and my daughter?
Oh, they went to consummate the marriage.
What do you mean, marriage?
Oh, well, sir, the goose is cooked, and what you thought was a game remains the truth.
What the devil? No, let me go. No, let me go! Let me go! Oh my God, let me go. Still playing on orbit